Hey, how you doing? On our plate for this week, will Gears of War 6 be at Xbox's June showcase? Should we raise hell over Hellblade 2 being locked at 30 frames per second? Another one. Is Prince of Persia getting a roguelike from DeadCells developers? Star Wars Outlaws Story trailer is coming soon. Next week, to be precise. All this and more on Season 8, Episode 14 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. This Sphinx and Dragon's Dogma 2 has me running around in circles trying to figure out what to do. I am joined by...
Sean MF Ross.
Ooh, what does the MNF stand for?
The Unmuted.
Ah, there we go. Nice. All right. Now you know who we are. Press X to Start Gamers Digest is a video podcast thinking that's the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday, whenever we can make it, guys, because as I say, every episode life is hard. But
listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I was gonna say my brain did something. I was like, "Ain't no way I'm gonna say that," and I did. And thank you, Sean, for saving me. I appreciate it. All right, don't forget to support us by liking this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. I think that's what it's called now, or the podcast service you are currently tuned in on. We want you to join our conversations by going to pressx2start.com/Discord. That's right. Our conversations happens in Discord. If you got Discord, you can get our conversation. Well, you can join our conversations. That's the word. Thank you. See you there. With that being said,
just tell us how much we suck. Just join the Discord, man. Just interact with us. Fuck it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could do that. I mean, you should be prepared to defend yourself because we will come back at you. Yes.
With vicious memes and gifs.
Right? Oh. All right, let us jump into the gaming news. Number one, Gears 6 will be announced in June. Leak suggests. This comes to us from Eurogamer.net by way of Vicky Blake. So, according to The Verge, which proposed that the next installment of our fan favorite shooter will be confirmed at Xbox Showcase, reportedly scheduled for that day. So, while neither the sequel nor the showcase has been formally confirmed as yet, The Verge reports that Microsoft is in the middle of planning for its big summer showcase, set to take place on Sunday, June 9th, and Microsoft is currently planning to announce the new Gears of War game. It's pretty cool. The Verge also projects that we'll find out release dates for Flight Simulator 2024, Avowed, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle, and this year's Call of Duty, which of course is developed and published by Activision, which is now a now part of Microsoft. That's the word that I'm gonna use, okay? So yeah, this is kind of big news. We from Press X to Start Gamers Digest had talked about this, talked about Gear 6 showing up. I want to say it was earlier this year. So that's the conversation that I want to have. I think this is going to be big for the Gears people. I don't remember how well Gears 5 did in terms of its fanfare, in terms of people being really excited for it.
Was it on Game Pass? I don't think
that's a great question, actually.
Numbers.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So I'm looking at the sales numbers. The original Gears sold 6 million. Gears of War 2 sold 5 million plus ish. Gears of War 3 million. Judgment, I guess, was 4. They don't report the total numbers. It just says 425,000 the first month.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Gears 5 was on Game Pass. It's Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
they say Gears because of Game Pass probably like 3 to 4 million, but that's because it's included in Game Pass. It ain't free. Stop
Yeah.
saying people stop saying it's free.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to see what Gear 6 looks like, if they are going to do something of a like God of War 2018 where they change up things, but you still have the same characters, but it just feels different.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, I guess in 2024, the games we got going on right now, the third person like, shooter is still sort of king. So Gear 6 does still fit that like mold, but I don't know. So like Gears 5, that was in 2019, which was what, 6 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
I think the math's right there. Yeah. So like, that's a long time. That's a long time. They could come up with something cool, but it is just, I feel like if Gear 6 looks like Gears 5, I think that will appeal to a certain subset of the audience. But there's always that, well, that doesn't look new. It doesn't feel new. So I don't know. But this is cool news. This is good news, especially for Xbox and
Yeah.
them needing games to show.
I
Speaking of
mean,
Xbox games to show. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I mean, that original Gears trilogy just caught that dude bro era, and
Yeah.
everybody was on Xbox 360, and I don't know, that chainsaw gun just offered something new, and I don't know, they just need to have something to pull people in other than it's new Gears and it's free on Game
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah. I totally agree. Like I like that is definitely an important thing that like when Gears first dropped, it was right in the middle of the Call of Duty bro being king, and that just played off of that to a different degree that worked so well for that series. So
Mhm.
it and then I think in Gears 5, the one of the main characters was like the daughter of one of the main Gears
Yeah.
characters or something like that. So yeah, it's just, it'll be interesting to see how they pass that torch forward. But yeah, speaking of more Xbox games, Hellblade 2 confirmed to run at 30 frames per second on Xbox. No performance mode available. This comes to us from IGN by way of, wait a minute, it's loading. Taylor lies. So, as the title suggests, Hellblade 2 will be releasing at 30 frames per second. Speaking to GamePro, Mark Salter Tunstill, the visual effects director for Hellblade 2, confirmed the console versions are locked to run at 30 frames per second with dynamic resolution. Okay, sure. With no additional graphic options, such as a performance mode available on console. However, the PC version is not locked to this feature, and increased frames per second can only be achieved on that specific platform. And last little bit is that the VX director explained that locking the console version of Hellblade 2 to 30 FPS made the experience feel more cinematic. However, he did not specify if it was due to anything else, such as technical limitations of the Xbox Series S, because this game is coming out on Game Pass, so it's going
How
to
much
be
was he paid
everywhere.
to? How much was he
Say
paid to
what?
say that? How much was he paid to say that?
Right?
Come on, guy. If it wasn't limited, why not do that then? But unlock it on PC. So fuck their cinematic experience on the PC, right? I'm not buying it. We've heard other developers say after the fact, they weren't saying it initially for whatever
Mhm.
reason with the Xbox Series S, but after the fact that it's hamstringing development.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, man. I think okay. So in this article, they say Redfall was also capped at 30 frames per second, and then they released a 60 frames per second mode later on. Redfall had other issues. I believe Starfield was locked at 30 frames per second as well.
mhm.
So this does feel like
Design
30
choice.
frames per second is, yeah, well, not even design choice, but like what you're saying, like 30 frames per second is going to be where things are locked at to keep the parity between Series S and Series X. And I mean, they might do a 60 frames per second in the future. Then again, they're doubling down by saying that 30 frames per second feels more quote unquote cinematic. So it's a thing of like, if they do that 60 frames later on, then it's just like, what about the whole cinematic things you're talking about?
Yeah, man.
So yeah. But
And do you think this is going to be the sales boon for Xbox? Because I don't think their general audience, like, I think people will play it just because it's on Game Pass. If it wasn't, I don't think their numbers would do well.
yeah, I am with you in that I think I really appreciate like everything Team Ninja is doing to like push forward, you know, mental health and stuff with the way Hellblade portrays it, and the length they're going to portray it like in an accurate way, but that's also used in a, you know, an action scenario kind of thing. But it is a very, I don't know how well the game is going to do in terms of drawing people to play the game. Yes, it's going to be on Game Pass, it's going to be free, but at the same time, there's a lot happening in Hellblade, and like especially if you haven't played
How many
Hellblade
people
1,
are
you
going to
jump
turn
into
it off
this.
after 10 to 30 minutes?
Bro, like I mean, like it is it is just like part of the whole mechanics in the game is that she Senua hears voices, and you know, a good number of people are playing these games in headphones, and that if you're not ready for that, I can imagine that being like a super just.
We don't know if they're still going to be doing that same shtick for this game.
No, they are. They've mentioned like that's going to be part of this
okay.
in terms of the hearing. Yeah, so like that's going to be crazy for some people. But again, like I think if they are smart about marketing this and making the action really sing and like showing that off, then that will be enough to get people in, and then they can like, you know, decide if they want to be a part of this quote unquote saga or journey with Senua, or just jump off like, oh well, the combat's great, but like I don't really, all this other stuff is kind of just weird to me kind of thing. Like that part is always going to be up to the consumer to choose.
Or
But
you'll have Moms for Liberty banning this game and saying that it's
God.
demonic. You know, one or the other.
Oh my God, I cannot. Every time I hear news about that group, I'm like, you guys just, all of you just stare into the eclipse, please. Just with both eyes wide open.
You're marketing demonic games to our children. Someone please think about the children.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Like this is going to be interesting, but like everything they actually, you know what? I done had a video trailer of this thing to show, and I done completely didn't even put it on. Look at that. Look at me. Look at me. There we go. Boom. Look at that. Caught myself. There we go. Yeah. So the game, I think, in all aspects, the game looks fantastic. They are doing the close, over the shoulder, third person hack and slash feel that you get from like a God of War. And then, you know, the audio is going to be completely like focused in because of how it's used in combat. I think overall the game checks a lot of boxes of this is going to be cool. This is going to be a game of the year contender if it lands and if it does well. I just wanted to pull in. So they've had previews of this game show off, and a lot of outlets are enjoying the game, are enjoying the combat.
Yeah.
So this is just pulled from Forbes, from Paul Tassi. This is from IGN. This battle demonstrated, this is a particular part in the preview. So this battle demonstrated the increased variety of enemy types, with new foes emerging from the shadows, replacing their fallen allies. They delivered both quick range attacks and heavy close-up blows that put my skills, or admittedly rusty skills, to the test. All of this occurred while all hell seemingly broke loose around me as innocent victims met swift and vicious demises, while fire, flames, and all manner of horror filled each corner of the screen. It was thoroughly exciting and felt like an improvement over the original rigid by comparison combat. So like that sounds like real crazy. Like if that is like the feel of this game, that's pretty solid. I again, like from what we know in terms of the combat, it's supposed to be more so one-on-one battles, so you're not fighting a lot of people, but the combat scenarios that you're put in, they are going to be more, I guess, harrowing because it's not going to be like a couple hits and that person died kind of thing. So that's cool. I want this game to do well. I am a little concerned that the Xbox audience may not be built for this game, but I guess that is the point of Xbox capturing them to try to pull in new people. Oh, yes. So in this video that I'm pulling, it's from IGN, but the director said that they wanted the combat of Hellblade 2 to feel a lot like the episode from Game of Thrones, The Battle of the Bastards, where Jon Snow is just dealing with everything that comes his way. He's not exactly the best fighter, but he's like, all right, well, I don't want to die, so I just got to figure this shit out. So I think that's cool. I really like that episode of Game of Thrones. So for them to like kind of mesh that together, I think it's a really cool thing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Hellblade 2. When that is going to, do we have a release date for that game?
Or which one? Senua?
Hellblade.
Very soon, within like 2-3 months.
Yeah, May 21st. Yep. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yep. So close. Yet so far.
We'll get Marcus on here to give us his scary ass thoughts on the game.
Yeah, because he was a big fan of Hellblade 1, so hopefully he's a big fan of Hellblade 2. Before we get into this, there's a whole string of Ubisoft stuff. Hey, how you doing? You good? Great. You can be better. You always want to be better. By liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because that will give you the little YouTube box that shows up that notifies you of when our next video or our next thing, maybe our shorts as well, because you want to see our shorts. I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then our Discord. Join our Discord, because Discord's pretty cool. That's press.com/Discord. Then if you are listening to us and you're not looking at our faces directly into our eyes, you can leave us a review. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. Yes, YouTube Music. Or any of the podcast services you're currently tuned in on. Let us know how we're doing. Thank you. All right. Number 3. DeadCells developer to release a new Prince of Persia game in Steam Early Access. This comes to us from Insider Gaming by way of Tom Henderson. So, Ubisoft is set to release this next Prince of Persia game later this year on Steam, developed by DeadCells developer Evil Empire. The game, The Rogue Prince of Persia. I like that title because that makes a lot of sense for what it's going to be. Will launch in early access on Steam and mark Ubisoft's first day one Steam release since 2019. Really? I guess day one. Day one. Okay. Sources say that The Rogue Prince of Persia is a new roguelite that, so it's roguelite. So not roguelike, roguelite.
No, it's both.
It's roguelike and roguelite?
Yeah, those are similar but kind of different variations on the thing.
Yeah.
So
someone explained it to me and I do not remember. Just someone, if you're curious to know what the difference between the two, just Google it. Okay. Google it, copy, and then paste it as a note on your desktop so you can always know what that means. There's a little tidbit. There's a little thing that you can do. All right. Yeah, and we'll receive constant free updates and evolve over time based on community feedback.
Well, that's a mistake.
Yeah, what is this game going to be? I am interested to see how that works. It's understood that the game has been in development for the past 4 years and happened thanks to a discussion between Evil Empire and Ubisoft at GDC around 2019, before COVID. How sweet. Soon after Evil Empire was born. When did DeadCells come out? Soon after Evil Empire was born? What? That seems weird. So yeah,
That's
why
a weird,
you're
that's a weird thing. But
yeah.
I don't know. Continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's currently unclear when the game will officially be announced, but the game is targeting early access for Steam, early access release on Steam later this year. It was announced on February 9, 2024 that Motion Twin would stop creating content for DeadCells. That's true. And that Evil Empire, the studio responsible for post-launch support of the game, will be moving on to other projects. Okay. Just DeadCells sold over 850,000 copies during its early access period on Steam, eventually reaching 10 million units sold in 2023. That's insane. So yeah, and then there's an update to this. Insider Gaming has confirmed that the game will be revealed at III Initiative on April 10, which is next week.
3 days from now. So by the time you hear us again, we'll have news from III.
Yeah, you're right. And then we'll launch on Steam Early Access on May 14, 2024. So that's really cool. That's super interesting. I'm a little confused by, I guess you got to get the games out. Well, it's going to be available on early access. The reason why I'm confused on this, I'm just going to throw in number 5 into this. Ubisoft Forward returns on June 10th with the latest on Ubisoft games. That's come to us from WCCFTECH by way of Alicio Palumbo. Yeah, so Ubisoft is having a Forward in June. They're putting out another Prince of Persia thing before June, and then we have the okay, this is also a quick thing. Star Wars Outlaws is unveiling a new story trailer for next week. So it seems that they are throwing out their things before their showcase, which that just seems weird to me, because it's like, what is Ubisoft going to show? Do they have a new Assassin's Creed? Oh, they got Assassin's Creed. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
because they got the Assassin's Creed Power Ranger colors or whatever. It's like I think they're gonna show Ubisoft or Assassin's Creed Red, the Ninja Yusuke. One.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Which before I was like, why are you guys doing this when Rise of the Ronin is gonna be out this year? But with Rise of the Ronin just being like good,
that's a more high skill-based game versus what Ubisoft's offering.
That's true too. That's true too. But like, I'm kind of changing my tune now with because I feel like we're jumping into the Forward. We didn't actually finish off the whole DeadCells thing. Yeah, we actually did. Yeah, so May 14th, we'll see more of it in the III thing. So, be ready for that. We'll talk about it next podcast. If it looks great, if it doesn't, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, okay. Back to Ubisoft Forward thing. Yeah, so they're gonna have Assassin's Creed Red, which could be cool because it's gonna be Yasuke, which is, if you don't know, Yasuke was an African slave that was brought to Japan, and then he became a samurai.
It's a hell of a trip, boy.
Right. But like the whole thing about Yasuke is that like he was an African slave, so he's he was taller than most of the Japanese people there, stronger than most of the Japanese people there, and you combine that with a sword, like
Yeah, regular old
you know.
Ichigo over there.
Exactly right. He said, "What is this? It's called bunkai." Yeah, so that could be interesting. Um, the thing about Ubisoft and their games is just that they all just kind of filter into like an open world like checklist kind of thing.
Collectathons, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I
Collect
don't
all 100 pieces of your walking papers type shit. Like, shit.
right. So like I just don't know if they are even at the point where they feel like they need to make a change to that system.
Mm.
I doubt it. I doubt it. And they're also doing like the other, there's what, Jade, there is Hexy or whatever. There's a bunch of other Ubisoft projects along with Ubisoft Infinite. No,
Man,
Assassin's Creed
give me
Infinite.
give me a slave game set in the 1800s in the US
Oh, what are you
where you
doing?
can
You
do
just working all
assassinations.
day.
No, you escaping, you doing assassinations and shit and freeing people.
Oh, bro, that would actually be pretty dope.
Think
That
about
would
all the
actually.
think about all the rage stories it would generate and how much sales it would generate.
Oh my god. Oh my. That's
Let
actually
me go learn
like
some coding.
right, right. Oh man, that would actually be pretty dope. Oh man, yeah, like okay, like my mind is just like racing with like things that they could do. Um, but yeah, the Ubisoft Forward, that I'm also interested to see what they got because just to
Yeah.
jump back to the whole Star Wars thing. So we're gonna get a Star Wars Outlaw trailer revealed next week. That's gonna have story content in it, and it's gonna basically be a deeper dive into the story of Kay Vess and Nyx, the two main. Or Kay is the main character. Nyx is like the little pet companion thing that she has.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I am looking forward to that game because I think that game I'm interested in playing that. Like I didn't really gel too much with Jedi Fallen Order / Survivor. Uh-oh. Am I back? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really jive with the last Star Wars games that Ubisoft put out, but I think this one just appeals to me a bit more. So I'll be interested to see what that trailer comes out to be. So there is no release date for that. So this Ubisoft Forward would probably have a release date for that if Star Wars Outlaws is coming out this year. So that's cool. Yeah, and then so I guess for the Forward, you're gonna have probably a release date for Star Wars Outlaws, probably a big update for Assassin's Creed, and hopefully a release date for Assassin's Creed Red, because I think that is the first one to like that's gonna be released.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't really know what else to expect from this. I think the DeadCells thing would have been a cool thing to like have in it, but like they're gonna put that in the AAA showcase. I mean, maybe we'll see it again, but again, it's gonna be in early access, so I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, they actually have a list of games that. Oh, X Defiant. Okay, yeah, sure.
Man, nobody cares about that.
Hey, you know what, listener, viewer, if you enjoyed your time playing the X Defiant beta / demo, more power to you. I wish you the best. I wish that game the best. I just don't know how far that game's gonna go. Number 6, and this is an interesting one. Older live service titles take up over 60% of overall playtime. Report says this comes to us from Push Square by way of, I almost closed out the article. Oh boy, I got to watch my clicks. Liam Croft. So basically, Fortnite, GTA 5, Call of Duty, the most played PS5, PS4 games. No surprise there. So older live service games like Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft make up more than 60% of the gaming community's overall playtime, a new report from Newzoo reveals. Based on data collected throughout last year, it is said that the amount of time played games is trending down, and those hours are spent playing a smaller range of titles. In 2023, games released within the past 3 years account for 23% of playtime. Last year, the PS5/PS4 titles that were the most playtime were number 1, Fortnite. Number 2, GTA 5. Number 3, Call of Duty. That includes Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Warzone. Number 4, EA Sports FC 24. Number 5, Roblox. Number 6, Rocket League. Wow.
Yeah,
Number
Rocket League
7,
came back out.
Minecraft. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, because didn't they
Rebooted
combine
it.
with
This is
didn't they
even
combine
before
with Fortnite?
Fortnite. That was very recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, Minecraft. Number 8, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 9, Apex, and number 10, Fall Guys.
I'm surprised Fall Guys is still up there, but then again,
Me too.
what else
Wow.
would there be?
So when you drill
still
down
surprised
further
Fall
into
Guys
the
is up there. Yeah,
say it again.
I'm still surprised Fall Guys is up that high. That's
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, okay. So yeah, when you drill down into the data, it's revealed that just 8% of the total playtime was spent on brand new releases. The 5 most played releases were Diablo 5, Hogwarts Legacy, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, and Starfield, in that order. So, lead analyst at Newzoo, Tom Widgman, said last year saw many highly anticipated and delayed games make landfall while significant layoffs cast a shadow over the industry. The market did recover. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait. I just lost my thought. The market did recover. Oh my gosh, where did it go? Oh no. Wait a minute. Okay, there it is. After a slight dip in 2022, but truly significant growth is still not on the immediate horizon. Playtime is on the decline in 2024, and market consolidation is pushing more eyes and cash into hands of fewer games and studios.
So I like the top comment that's on there. And they said, well, these are free games for the most part. So somewhat understandable, but clearly terrible for the industry. In fact, I'd be tempted to call this an entirely different industry that has stolen gamers and potential gamers away and stranded them in their carefully curated and sanitized social hangout spaces where they can chat with their friends and compete in very loose terms. And I'd have to agree.
Yeah, I think that is a good way of comparing these like free to play ish style games where you have to jump in, and usually it's set to like do a daily thing, so you're playing that daily, like it's pushing you to play daily, and then that extrapolated over a year, it's like, oh, I've spent like 500 hours in Call of Duty because I've just been doing the daily things every day, and it's just like,
or hanging
oh my
out and
gosh, yeah,
fucking, I don't know how people can play Shipman and Shoot House just every
yeah.
day.
Oh,
Leveling up a gun.
I can play Shipman every day.
Leveling up a gun every day
Every
just to do it again next year. I don't know, man.
You blow up the bits and you come right back, Sean. It's amazing.
Nah, man. They've sucked a lot of the fun out of games.
So here's my thing. And I go back to the statement of like, this is a big deal. At the same time, it's not really a big deal. The reason why I say that is because we know from time to time again, good games sell. Good games sell well. It's just that the publishers, the industries need to understand and define what well is. Like on this list of the top 5 most played releases last year, which is just 8% of the total playtime spent on brand new release titles, you got Diablo 5, you got Hogwarts Legacy, you got Baldur's Gate 3, you got Elden Ring, you got Starfield. Elden Ring came out 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that game has sold millions of copies, have been super successful for FromSoft. Starfield did, as we think, hopefully did good for. We don't really know too much about Starfield because that's in Game Pass and so on and so forth. Baldur's Gate 3 did amazing money wise for Warner Brothers. Is it Warner Brothers? Wizards of the Coast. I forget the publisher. But yeah, and then Hogwarts Legacy did amazing for Warner Brothers. And it's just like, and then Diablo 5 or 4, Diablo 4 did great. I think I don't remember too much about the sales for that, but these games that sold the most or whatever did fantastic. They did amazing. It's just that the publishers are looking at Fortnite and being like, we need that. Yeah, and it's just like, you're not going to get that. You're just not going to get that. Like those people who are playing Fortnite, who are playing Grand Theft Auto 5, who are playing Call of Duty, you're not going to turn those people. So just stay in your lane, make great games, and then see how much money you get off those great games and base your profits off of that. And it's like, that's what boggles my mind to like, for example, Call of Duty, people talk about, oh, this Call of Duty is trash or whatever because it X, Y, and Z and it sucks. And it's like, it still sells well because people don't care. They're going to play the game. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 released on PS3. Like, you're not like it like what that commenter said, like these games should not be included in the talk of the quote unquote game industry because these games will exist outside of that industry because they are so big. Like, yeah, it's just like we don't talk about Madden anymore because that game just exists outside the industry. Like, it will always make money. It will always sell because there is a fan base for that who will just buy the next thing.
They have the NFL license, so nobody else can.
That too. I mean, that's sort of the like hidden trap card for EA. But like, yeah, and it's just like, that's just that. And I don't know, like I get it, and the weird thing of playtime is on the decline in 2024 as market consolidation is blah blah blah, and it's like, well, it's March, so like, what exactly? How are you coming up with that stat that playtime's on the decline when we don't even have a full year to really? Not even half a year to like make that statement kind of thing. So it just feels, it feels weird to me that like they are just looking at the numbers and just kind of, this is just what we're at right now. And this is just the stuff. And it's like, okay, but I feel like there needs to be a bit more context around these numbers.
I do.
So yeah. But again, like, just if you're enjoying a game, play the game. Don't really worry about it too much. If the game does well, you'll get a sequel. If not, just keep playing that game and supporting it, and hopefully it comes back in like 5 or 10 years, Dragon's Dogma. All right. And the last couple of news stories are our little quick hits. So number 7. Dragon's Dogma 2 sales hits 2.5 million units sold 11 days after its launch. This comes to us from IGN by way of, I think this is Wesley Eanepool. Yes, I'm right. Wesley Eanepool. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is a big hit for Capcom, selling 2.5 million copies across PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S in just 11 days. So this is really great for them. This is selling well. I am happy that it is at 2.5 million units sold in 11 days. It is on track to beating Dragon's Dogma 1, which, great. I feel like it should, because this game is just a better version of Dragon's Dogma 1 with, new content added. That sounds bad, but like that's actually a good thing, because Dragon's Dogma 1 is, I will go on record by saying, like, Dragon's Dogma 1 is probably a unique collection of RPG elements that hasn't been reproduced since Dragon's Dogma, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is the only thing that is like adding to that. So that's awesome. So the total Dragon's Dogma franchise sales has now exceeded 10 million units. That number doesn't really
Damn,
mean too
DJ,
much.
how many copies did you buy?
More than 10, Sean. I am financially ruined by this, but this is great news. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's not really much to pull out from this other than that number being a number. So yeah, we'll see what this happens. We'll see where this goes after a month of sales. Yeah, that's yeah. There's other Dragon Dogma 2 stuff, but I'll talk about it during what we've been playing. Number 8, Like a Dragon new title cast audition announced. This comes from us from Gamatsu by way of. Wait a minute. Sal Romano. So yeah, this is actually the news that we had mentioned, I think last week or the week before, that there's gonna be an announcement. So publisher Sega and developer Ryuga Gotoku Studio will hold cast auditions for the next Like a Dragon title. Series director Yokoyama announced on the latest episode of Ryuga Gotoku Studio TV. That is a mouthful, I'll tell you what. According to Yokoyama, the new title is not Yakuza Kiwami 3. Sean, does that break your heart?
No, not really, but I'm thinking like, damn, I already played Yakuza 3. Will I buy it if they come out with a Kiwami 3? Maybe. Got to keep that IV drip Like a Dragon flowing, but whatever.
Yeah. So what exactly is Kiwami versus, like, I guess a normal Yakuza? Like,
so Kiwami was just a complete remake, and I don't think that's an actual Japanese word, but they use it to mean extreme. So it's like a remake to the extreme. Okay. According to Chef Kurashima, Kiwami means ultimate or the pinnacle in English. So that's why. So it's the best they can give you as far as the game. So I don't know what they're gonna release next. If Wealth just came out. Like I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see this summer if they announce something. But I'm liking their steady stream of games that they have coming out because they have their own engine and they develop things in parallel as we have. I think we did a story about that a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
I don't know. We'll see how their output keeps up.
Okay. Yeah, because I just don't know. I have no basis for this, so that sounds interesting. Because yeah, I would imagine that they would build off of Infinite Wealth if it's. I imagine that would be possible.
I just got to figure out how to get a cameo on one of these fuckers, and I'll be
right. We gotta make that happen. Okay. The last bit of news, number 9, new PlayStation CEO Hiroki Totoki starts temporary role today. This comes to us from Push Square. This article was published April 1st. No, it's not an April Fool's. It's just how the financial fiscal years work. So this article comes to us from Liam Croft. So essentially, we're saying bye to Jim Ryan and hello to Hiroki Totoki. Although he has already started his role. I think we had talked about it last week or the week before again, about how he was going to different publishers and talking to them about how they're spending their money because somebody needs to do it. And he essentially dinged Bungie for having great ambition, but like no idea in terms of how much money they're actually spending on this whole ambition that they have. So yeah, we'll see what comes from his how he pushes PlayStation forward
in the interim.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like how every time they've had a CEO, they've pretty much propped up a person, at least from my memory, they propped up a person that has worked in PlayStation, that worked for Sony to this position. And to have like an interim CEO, to me, to me feels weird because you usually go from CEO to CEO. So for Jim Ryan to be like, all right, guys, I'm out, it doesn't feel like he's leaving on the best terms, but they're not trying to like ruffle feathers in terms of him leaving. So they're doing this whole interim thing and quote unquote looking for a new CEO, which feels like, well, why don't they just make this guy the CEO? Like what?
Yeah.
Then again, we don't know too much about this guy. I know that's Jim Ryan. But yeah, Totoki has been a part of Sony for a long time as well. So, he has history. But yeah, we'll see what comes from this. And, do they just keep him running after a year or so, or do they actually find somebody? We'll see. So yeah, that's it for the gaming news. Let us jump into what we've been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
I know I've been saying this for some weeks now, months now, but I'm literally in the finale like chapter. It literally says it doesn't have a chapter number. It says finale in like a dragon, but
finale parentheses continued.
but I have this pipe dream that I'm gonna platinum the game because I'm like this close. But as anybody who plays games and specifically RPGs know, the higher that you get, the more points XP that you need, exponentially as it gets higher. So I'm like, one of the trophies is getting Kasuga to level 70, and I think I'm like level 56 now, and it's a tall mountain to climb.
Oh my gosh. So wait, can you beat the game right now? You just trying to platinum it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've been able to probably complete it probably like a couple weeks ago, but I'm trying to get like all the ultimate weapons for everybody, finish up the little things because normally this isn't a game like this is a long game. I don't even know why they locked New Game Plus behind DLC.
Yeah. Trying to make money. Let's try to make money.
But
everybody else.
I'm literally like 10 steps from the finish line. I'm trying to do this.
You get to the finish line, you stop, you turn around. Did I get everything else?
Yeah. I may look for they have like the level up drinks to level you up. But I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you can finish that game and then look at the whole game industry. Like there's nothing else out here for me. Oh man. Is your plan to jump into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
Yeah. And then I'll probably switch between that and Stellar Blade. I just really wanted to devote time to this. So
okay.
Almost
yeah,
there.
that's
almost there.
Dang. All right. Well, more power to you. For me, I've just been sort of mainline Dragon's Dogma 2. I pretty much am in mid game. Okay, how do you explain this? So right now, from my understanding, because I haven't really looked up like how big Dragon's Dogma 2 is. I just understand there's essentially two big areas. There's like the forest area, which is I don't know. I don't know what the names of it's called. And then the big desert area is called Batal. And I'm pretty much I've stepped foot in Batal. I've done from my accounts all the missions that I've had available to me in the first area. And I'm having just a great time with this game. A lot of people have had issues with the quest structure because it is very, very loose. Like it will drop you in a place, or it will say, hey, look, you need to go to this place and give this letter to this person. And you will go to that place, and the whole town will just be like a yellow circle. And it's basically like, go find the person. And some people find that annoying. And it's like, oh, you actually have to read the description of that item that you're going to give. And in that description, it says, this letter is addressed to this person. So you have to go around and find where that person is and give them the letter kind of thing. And it's like, when it works, I think it's awesome. When it doesn't work, it is super annoying. It is super frustrating, and it's a dumb system. And it's like having to find that balance. Say what?
I said, it'll be okay. They're there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like once you get it and you understand, like, oh, so this is kind of the rules of the game. You understand, like, all right, well, I need to just read stuff and I need to try to solve these quest puzzles in a way that I think you would solve it in this world, in this game. And another version of that had, like, I literally just figured it out because I was just like, screw this. I'm going to look it up because I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. There is a quest that you're supposed to, it's like the Shadow of the Horizon or whatever. Shadow of the Horizon. Anyways, this quest is basically, there's a person that is following you in the main city, and you have to, like, essentially get information out of him, like stop him or whatever. And I've had that quest on my quest page for the last, I don't know, week. And I've just ignored it because I'm just like, I click on the quest, nothing happens. I don't get it. Every time I'm in the city, I'm running around doing my stuff. And then like eventually a guy would walk past me and shout, you, and then run away. And I'm just like, what the hell is that guy's problem? Like, what is that about? and I end up just saying, like, screw it. I'm tired of this guy yelling at me for no reason. And I looked up his name, and it turns out that guy is part of that shadow quest. And that guy, the reason why he's saying you is because he has been following you all around the city. And when you turn around and you look at him, he panics, says you, and he runs away. And it's like, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to tackle that guy. When you tackle that guy, you trigger the next part of that quest. And it's just like, what? Like, and then like,
how would you have known that?
How would you have known that? Exactly. But it's just like, the tackle mechanic is a big part of the game that the game doesn't tell you about. Because in another mission, when you have to apprehend this nun who has been poisoning people with like this poison, but it's also helping them get better, to like apprehend her, you have to run and tackle her to the ground. And it's like, it doesn't tell you to do that. It just says you have to apprehend her. And it's just, if they had thought about that being like a barrier for these missions and just kind of explained or did some kind of tutorial thing where you have to tackle someone and be like, hey, look, this is a good way of pinning people. This is a good way of making sure they don't move. Like giving a hint like that, I think that would have helped a lot of people get over the hump of like, how am I supposed to figure out this mission? So it's like little things like that that are grating, but like once you figure it out, you understand like, okay, well, that's just another part of, and like to note, like that wasn't a thing in Dragon's Dogma 1. Like you could pick someone up and you could throw them, but like the whole tackling mechanic and that being a part of the quest structure was never a thing in Dragon's Dogma 1. So this is just new for essentially everyone. So like that has been sort of a pushback from the game that you just kind of have to adapt to. Like some people, once they understand, they don't really have a problem with it. Some other people are just like, oh, this is stupid. It's just bad quest design kind of sort of. And it's like, I understand that. I get that. And then the other thing that I don't think I talked about last week was this whole Dragon's Plague thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say it out here so people know what this is. If you haven't jumped into Dragon's Dogma 2, but want to jump into Dragon's Dogma 2, or you've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2 and you have no idea what Dragon's Plague is, although in the game, anytime you rent a pawn, it will tell you, the pawn will be like, oh, I heard this rumor about this whole Dragon's Play thing that's really bad for everyone, essentially. Dragon's Plague happens when you, the Arisen, and your pawn and whatever pawns you have fight a dragon. One of the dragon's moves is it will grab you or grab a pawn, and it will stare deep into your eyes, whisper sweet nothing, and then chuck you into the ground. The whole sweet nothing thing is a curse. That curse will cause Dragon's Plague. Dragon's Plague does not happen immediate. Dragon's Plague grows and grows and grows, sort of like the HIV epidemic. So what happens is when your pawn first gets Dragon's Plague, the first thing you'll notice is that their eyes will start to flicker red, and it's a really light red. So it's kind of hard to tell unless you're like really paying attention. The next step of it is that the pawn will disobey your commands. So if you're not using your commands, you probably won't notice that the pawn is just like, when you say come here, the pawn's like, no, fuck you, I'm not coming over there. And then the pawn will start to have headaches. And if you do nothing about any of this, if you just let it run its course, when you go to a main town or go to any town and you sleep at the inn, you will go to sleep, you will wake up, and there will be a cutscene. And in that cutscene, you will see your pawn, essentially eyes glow bright red, and then unleash just like giant cloud of like, I don't know, plague material or whatever. And that will kill all the people in the town. Everybody dies in the town. That's a big problem because you are losing potential quests, you're losing the vendors, and that could brick your game. So what you have to do after that is either, well, you can't really load back the inn save because the inn save will trigger that Dragon's Play happening again. So you have to just get a Wake Stone and revive people, revive the important people, and then essentially play the game. And like, it's one of those moves that is FromSoft, like Elden Ring level of like, damn, that is crazy. Yeah. But again, the game tells you this stuff, and it's just like, you just have to pay attention. Like Dragon's Dogma 2 is about paying attention. Yeah, right. Like you know something is wrong because your pawns are just like, I have a splitting headache, help me. You're just like, nah, we're fighting these goblins. It's just like, okay, well, you deserve this. So yeah, and it's just, I'm loving this game for the moment to moment. Like the actual story stuff is fine. It's cool. It's very similar to Dragon's Dogma 1. So if you are accustomed to that and you understand like the whole like cult, the whole fake Arisen, all that stuff, then you're gonna be good. The story is definitely not like a game of the year level story. Like that game of the year's conversation is going to be about the combat. It's going to be about the systems that are in play in the game and like that side of the game. So yeah, overall it's cool. And then I'm not going to go long. Next week I'll probably talk about the whole fast travel system and how it's actually probably the best fast travel system, better than Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Oh, and then the Sphinx as well, because I found the Sphinx and that's just fun times. So yeah, what did you say?
That's enough of that.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much been what I've been playing. That's been what we've been playing. And this has been Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it, talking about it, and just talking and laughing, because that's what we do sometimes. We do that. Humor. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget, if you are listening, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast platform. What? That you're currently tuned in on. Yeah. YouTube Music. Forgot to throw that in there. I'm throwing it in there now. If you want to join our conversation, you can join our Discord at pressxnumber2start.com/Discord. That will take you where you need to be to talk with us about stuff like games and anime. And one of the people in there have been throwing these like Team A versus Team B things. Those are pretty fun too. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So next week we'll be talking more about the Triple I Indie Showcase, the Star Wars trailer, and whatever news that happens. So yeah, you be safe. You have fun. Keep playing games. Peace out.
All right, then. What is it, 14?
14.
Don't stop the music. Don't stop the music.